Terra LUNC Classic is still just building. We are getting ever nearer to our second round of burns from Binance. We're going to take a look at exactly what we think they're going to be this time and all the rest of the news and things you need to be aware of for Terra LUNC Classic. So if you are still supporting this amazing opportunity, be sure to subscribe to the channel and also leave a like on this video. Let's see if we can get the old 1,000 likes back on this video and let's dive in. So currently looking at the chart, we currently sit 28.90 up just 1%, actually rallying over the last sort of 6 hours. Some nice green candles here with these couple of lines of support drawn to the 2 9s and then onwards up and breaking over into those 3s. So we still have a bit of potential. RSI is trending generally in the middle, money flow looking kind of okay with some volume coming big. Now our volume has been down, we know that. A lot of people are talking some crazy numbers that I've seen on YouTube about what the burns could be, and I'm just going to give you a flavor of what I think and equally applying a little bit of maths. And I think it's important that we are understanding of what they're going to be, and equally gives us an opportunity to start to think about it. Now we did see this kind of move last weekend. We did see some nice bullish movement, some nice buys coming in. I think while ever XRP is running over 5%, Luna should follow trend and we should equally start to see that move slightly north. So good news overall. I think ultimately a lot of people still say to me, well, LUNC Classic is dead. LUNC Classic is done and move on. Again, we are trading up and around that $300 to $400 million in volume every day. That certainly is not a cryptocurrency that is done. And we know that there is continuous development and there is more to come. Now, let's get into the talk of these burns. Where are we going to sit and kind of what that's going to look like? Well, we know on the 1.2% burn tax, this has slowed down. But I think overall volume in crypto market is down. We saw 600 billion wiped off the stock market today. Equally, we are trending just about 930 billion on the crypto market. So we are down across everything. You know, the whole market right now is really challenging for both volume and new investors coming in. But we still 158 million. I think we've got to not lose context of this. Yes, we want to see 100 billion. Yes, we do. And ultimately, do I think we'll get there? Absolutely. But at the same time, we are still seeing burns. Terra LUNC Classic is still deflationary. It is just going to take a lot longer than I think people wanted. And ultimately, again, you know, we were never, and I talked about this on the channel, we were never going to go, you know, from 6.9 trillion to 3 trillion, even if an NFT project said they were going to burn 2.5 trillion, which you've always got to take with a pinch of salt. But ultimately, we're looking on the week, we are at that 6.7 billion with those Binance burns on top of that. So again, we look forward into next week. Now, here is kind of the news, and we've talked about this a number of times. It tells us exactly what the mechanism is going to be. You can see here, Luna burn mechanism will not affect trading fees on LUNC Classic and spot trading. So that's where the fee is coming across there. You can see here the first batch of trading fees on spot and margin trading pairs will be burnt and will be calculated on that. And that's what we saw, that 5.5 billion. Now, here is batch 2. You can see the dates here, look. So it's going to run from the 2nd of October right up until the 8th of October. And we will get that update on the 10th. So that is actually the day afterwards. And we'll have to wait and see what that comes like that. And again, we'll get this burn ID so we can kind of go and check it. So the big question is, well, how and what are we going to get? And I think that's what's on everyone's mind. And we can obviously take the volume on these pairs. So you can see currently today about 200 million across the two. And we can look into the historical data on spot trading. So we can kind of see again what is going through here for some of these. Again, roughly 50% of the volume again runs through, excuse me, if you click on the market, runs through these top pairings. Look, so you see 35% and 14 is just under the 50%. If we looked yesterday, it was about 51%. So that's where we're taking some of this information for. And we can see the total volume here, and then we divide that by 50%. And I've run the numbers. We are waiting obviously for tomorrow's volume, which would be the 8th. But running through the last days, you can see here, look, got billion and 78. We go back down here. Here is the billion and 78, which was the 2nd. And we can confirm here, this was the first day that we did take the volume for the new burns across. So again, we run through, yes, we're still missing 1 day short, which will be tomorrow. We could probably say it's going to be probably somewhere in the region of this. But without that, currently we're sitting about 5.2 billion LUNC Classic coins. Again, we add that one, very similar number. We can see we jump up to just under 6 billion. Now we know based on last week's, we were about half that. So we could see anything between 3 to 5 billion Lunar Classic burn. So we're not going to see people. So I've seen some people talking about 10, 15 billion. It's just not going to be the case. And I think we have to be realistic, and ultimately we have to be really mindful about this. What we don't want to do is create this pump and dump view of these burns, because I think it's important. Otherwise, you're just going to get loads of money coming in. The minute the burns come out, we're going to see some big sales, and that's where the average retail investor just doesn't want to get involved anymore. The people that can't leverage big funds just move on to something else. I think it's important we keep quite grounded with this. Ultimately, though, still, even if it was 3 or 4 billion, it's still a substantial amount. Again, we are burning this every week, and it isn't costing the user that money. It's coming out of the Binance pocket. So again, we're gonna have to wait and see, and I'll bring you these update videos as and when I can, and equally around that, you know, hopefully we see a bit of positive price movement. Again, we can see it now. We might see a bit more volume coming in. If the market recovers, we could see a bit more volume, and ultimately that has to be the thing. And the way we get volume is by trading and investors coming in. So the best thing we can do is be honest and really apply some level of science to these numbers, not just talk crazy numbers that are absolutely not going to be achieved. So again, my prediction, anything between 3 and 4 billion is probably where we're at, depending on what volume we get through tomorrow. It might be slightly less, it might be slightly more. That doesn't mean, though, in the long term, I am not bullish on Lunar Classic. I still hold a very decent bag of Lunar Classic. I still am holding. I haven't sold anything, and I still think we're in for a very good ride, and I think this is only just the beginning. Again, I say this in every video, don't forget where we've come from, but there is a lot more to come, I think, for Lunar Classic. So if you are still holding your Lunar Classic, drop me a comment down below so that I know where all the Lunar Classic army is. Also, leave a like on this video if this content was useful, and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything going on with Lunar Classic. And I, guys, will see you in the next video.